Hey guys, Daryl here. Happy Friday. So I decided to do a little investigating myself. I decided to think as if I were a Trump supporter. If I was trying to make the case for Trump, trying to find some dirt. Not that this would exist from a realistic point of view, that would not exonerate Trump at all from this impeachment, but. He tries to make the case that he was just doing his job, rooting out corruption. Supposedly, he was doing what was good for America. So I played the role of a Trump supporter, and I went to Google, to DuckDuck, all the search engines, YouTube, Twitter, everywhere. I was trying to find information on Hunter and Joe Burrisma, and any evidence at all, any numbers, anything solid as to corruption, anything that could be viewed as corrupt. And honestly, I found nothing. So I got the basic story. The original prosecutor that was working in Ukraine, Victor Shokin, I think his name was. It was a general consensus there was protests among the Ukrainian people that he was corrupt. He was looking into Burisma, and I'm not sure if it was the finances or if it was Hunter in particular, but nothing came out of that. There was no evidence whatsoever that came out that Hunter had got the job because of Joe, because if it was any evidence that this was to influence the politics or anything. So what I found was that they were trying to the Obama administration was trying to root out corruption because they were about to give them just money. I don't know if it was a loan. I don't know if it was a grant. I don't know what you call it, but because they had separated from from Russia. Russia was annexing Crimea at the time, so we were trying to buddy up. Basically, the fact is we were trying to buddy up to the Ukraine as best we could, trying to keep them safe and keep them on our side, give them some aid, so that Russia's influence didn't keep spreading, like with the annexation of Crimea. But Obama didn't want to give this money to a corrupt government, so they were pushing to get the people that they found or they suspected being corrupt out, like the prosecutor Shokin. Now, Trump, of course, spins this in a completely opposite direction, that they were trying to get rid of Shokin because he was investigating Biden. And it's a tactic I used back when I was a drug addict, of telling like half-truths and spinning it around and making a point pretty much to the opposite of what really happened, but using some basic facts and aligning them up differently. So basically, I found no evidence, no numbers, no evidence of corruption at all. And like I said, I was trying hard. And remember, too, that I'm not trying to protect Joe Biden by any means. My endorsement isn't even for Joe Biden at this point. And like I've said in other videos, if there's anything showing that Biden is corrupt, I would much rather know it now, have it come out now, than have it come out when if he becomes an actual Democratic candidate, and then it causes a loss to Trump, would be my worst nightmare. So if there is any corruption, anything like that, I want to know it right now. I would hope that it would come out right now, and also that his whole defense, his misguided defense, because in reality it doesn't matter why he was doing this. The ends don't justify the means. That he was doing this for corruption for the good of the country, and consequently, Alan Dershowitz, his attorney, was saying, well, basically, whatever is good for Donald J. Trump is good for America. So he could do whatever he wants. In other words, he's a dictator, and whatever he deems necessary is okay and legal by whatever means necessary. So anyway, and then my question was too that we have these books, we have witnesses coming forward as to the way Trump went about this. His intent was to smear Joe Biden, so he'd have one less contender, or his probable contender in the election would be smeared or eliminated. thus providing him a win in November. So now his attorneys have evolved from saying there was no quid pro quo to, well, there was a quid pro quo, but it was to root out corruption. And now it's just evolved into, so what? So what? Trump, whatever Trump deems good for the country, or good for whatever Trump deems good for Donald J. Trump is good for the country, and he can do it. And so nothing's taboo at this point. Whatever Trump deems good for America is legal and doable. So that's where we're at. So I honestly, like, looking at it as if I really, really want to find something, rumors, anything, onto the particulars on how Joe and Hunter, how there was corruption involved. I want to see some numbers, some phone calls, some texts, anything implicating Joe and Hunter Biden. I found nothing. Granted, I don't know much about the deep recesses of radical Trump supporters like 4chan or whatever that shit's called. I don't know much about that, so maybe there's stuff way deep in there. Some good made-up stories and rumors about this, but as far as like MSNBC, CBS, ABC, they all agree that there's nothing. There's no evidence that shows there was any corruption, anything improper from Joe and Hunter involving this. And then again, not that it even matters, because that's a separate issue. The issue is Trump pulling in a foreign government and influencing the election. That is the issue. So anyway, that's it. I'm getting myself out of the role of Trump supporter. Like I said, I was trying to investigate from their point of view, and it's an uncomfortable position to be in, and I don't like it. I feel dirty. All right, you guys have a good Friday.